Hi, it's John and welcome to the channel. 9:47 p.m. Tuesday, October the 28th. I hope you're having a great evening, a great Tuesday evening. I haven't got any coffee. I've got no big blue mug right now. I came to my computer because my jaw was on the floor and I had to do a video on this. And this video, I guarantee you, will be different than videos you've seen on a similar topic tonight. And it's regarding Thomas Lukaszuk's Forever Canadian campaign. And for Christ's sakes, I might have been right back on June the 30th. I talked about this way back on June the 30th. I had all kinds of questions. I've questioned it several times since. I did a video back on June the 30th. Here's the thumbnail from it. Let me show it to you here. Breaking. Former politician Thomas Lukaszuk may have just helped get Alberta a vote on independence. That's what I said back on June the 30th. I might have been right because it seems that the Premier and Keith Wilson, the lawyer, are saying that as well. Now, I will be 100% sure there's going to be a referendum question that we can vote no on using Thomas Lukaszuk's signatures and his referendum to become independent here in Alberta. When I actually hear it from the chief electoral officer and the Premier says we're having the referendum and there's a ballot being printed, but for Christ's sakes, I might have been right. This is what I said back on June the 30th in my video. The thing that I really want to know about, and we'll let the lawyers battle this out in court, is he's asking people to vote on whether they want to stay in Canada. And that's what the independence movement is doing as well. Do you or do you not want to remain in Canada? That's what Lukaszuk's question asks. What if people say, no, we don't? A majority say, no, we don't. And that's why we have to, as independent-minded Albertans, pay attention to this. And we need to go out and get people to vote the other way. And it needs to be clear before we vote on whether this is a vote for independence, because I think it is. Mr. Lukaszuk cannot have it both ways. If people say, yes, they want to stay in Canada, we stay. If people say, no, you want to get out of Canada, we stay. It can't be both ways. And it needs to be made completely clear if this question actually gets on a ballot. So I think there might be an opportunity here. Mr. Lukaszuk may have made a major fail here by allowing us to vote on independence with him and maybe have another one down the road with us, the independence movement. What do you think? I think I was right. And I've said many times since, what's the point in having a referendum if the outcome's the same regardless of how you vote? That doesn't make sense to me. And it didn't make sense to me on July the 6th when I did this video. Why was Thomas Lukaszuk's application accepted? I wrote the chief electoral officer of Alberta to find out, and I did. His name's Gordon McClure. And here's what I said. Here are the questions I asked at that time. So subject, questions regarding the recent approval of Citizens Initiative referendum. I'm writing to seek clarity regarding the recent approval of a Citizens Initiative for a referendum on the question, and this is the question they want. Do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? I would appreciate it if you could address the following questions concerning your approval of this initiative. Number one, assuming the response options for this question are yes or no, what would be the outcome if a majority of Albertans vote no? 2, if the outcome remains the same regardless of how people vote, what is the purpose of this referendum question? More importantly, why was it approved? 3, should time, effort, and taxpayer money be spent on a referendum that, regardless of the result, maintains the status quo? 4, if the purpose of this referendum is purely partisan, to pressure the Premier into supporting the petition, which appears to be the petitioner's intent, see link below, and I included a link where Mr. Lukaszuk basically says that. Is this an appropriate use of your office? Your mandate states that, quote, Elections Alberta is an independent, nonpartisan, my bold type, office of the Legislative Assembly responsible for administering provincial elections, by-elections, and referenda, unquote. 5, is a petition designed to influence or pressure a single individual, the Premier, a responsible and nonpartisan use of your time and taxpayer resources? I believe Albertans deserve clear answers to these questions before this initiative proceeds any further. Thank you for your time and attention to this matter. So, of course, I did get an answer, and all they did was cut and paste information off the Elections Alberta website. That's it. from the chief electoral officer. That's all I got. Didn't answer any of my questions clearly. Not one question. But folks, we may be closer to an independence here and a vote on independence because of what this idiot Thomas Lukaszuk did. And I want this to be made clear damn soon, right now. I guess this is just, what, today?
But if you ask people if you want to remain in Alberta, yes or no, there are implications if people answer no.
There are implications if you answer no. There's got to be. Like I said all along, referendum are for answering questions or getting legislation passed. Do you want to legalize marijuana? Yes or no? Well, if more people say no, then it doesn't happen. Well, that's got to be the case here. Now, I understand there were different type of referenda when it comes to the province of Alberta. This is a pretty clear question. Here's Keith Wilson, the lawyer. Here's the best evidence to show how badly Lukaszuk misled his supporters and that he has now triggered a 2026 referendum on independence. His petition was not about forcing a vote in the legislature. And I said that in my question to the chief electoral officer. This was Thomas Lukaszuk trying to influence the premier, a single person. Is this how we use referenda in our province? Because that's all that was about. It's right there. His petition was not about forcing a vote in the legislature, but that's what he said in interviews. Read his application. He just filed the signatures needed to cause a referendum. Thanks, Thomas. And if you look right down here, therefore, we, as represented by the signatory and applicant below, propose a referendum on the following question: do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? Period. I say no, and I want my vote to count if this gets on a ballot. And I think now, the Alberta Prosperity Project, that should be our plan, to put the pressure on the chief electoral officer and the premier of this province to ensure that our vote will count if this goes to a referendum question. Because you can't have it both ways, Mr. Lukaszuk. You can't have it both ways. This is amazing. I can't believe what I was thinking about back on the 30th of June may actually come true. What do you think? It's unbelievable. What do you think? If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. I will see you in the next one. Wow.